Right now, on to the point. Fighting crime in California.
Governor Newsom plans on deploying more CHP officers on the streets of cities across the state to fight crime. Coming up, how he says what he's doing is different than what President Trump is doing with the National Guard.
An overnight camping ban at City Hall. Mixed reactions to the new ordinance and the efforts to find a safe solution. The push to end surveillance pricing. A new bill proposed aims to protect your privacy. And in our Champions of Hope,
most of all, I've been able to inspire others.
A single mother searching for a better life for herself and her daughter is now paying it forward.
Good evening. As always, thank you so much for joining us on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell. And tonight, Governor Newsom is deploying teams of CHP officers into communities across the state to fight crime. He laid out his plan at a news conference just this morning. ABC 10's Becca Habegger was there and joins us live in studio. And Becca, as we understand it, he's actually doing this in 6 cities and regions, right?
Yes, broadly Sacramento, the Central Valley, and the Bay Area, plus LA, San Diego, and the Inland Empire will start seeing more CHP officers partnering with local law enforcement agencies to tackle crime. Now, if this sounds a little like what President Trump is doing with the National Guard, something, by the way, Newsom has criticized, reporters asked him about that today. Newsom says his approach is different.
These operations will be targeted. They'll be data-driven.
Governor Gavin Newsom announced Thursday morning he is deploying new CHP crime suppression teams to 6 cities and regions across the state. A stepping up of efforts, he says, that have been underway for the past few years in places like Oakland, San Bernardino, and Bakersfield.
We're going to be expanding this operation, building on the success that is now included over 9,000 arrests statewide.
This expanded effort comes despite dropping crime rates in California.
Never good enough. Good enough never is. Success is not a place or a definition. Success is a direction. There is no having made it as it relates to the issue of crime suppression.
Newsom has been critical of President Donald Trump for deploying the National Guard to suppress crime in Washington, D.C. Asked how what he's doing is different, Newsom said he is partnering with local law enforcement agencies instead of swooping in, as he accuses Trump of doing.
The community wants to see more, and we are trying to be responsive to the people we serve. As it relates to the president in particular, he's doing things to people, not with people. It's a point of profound and consequential contrast. He's de facto militarizing American cities.
Newsom appeared with the CHP commissioner, both of whom declined to say exactly where in these communities the targeted efforts will take place, since they don't want to give criminals a heads up. Republicans agree that the state needs more resources to fight crime, but they say that should be done by funding Prop 36. Passed last year by 68% of voters, Prop 36 is the Republican-led effort to crack down on retail theft and drug crimes and provide drug treatment for offenders. Republicans have criticized the governor's hesitation to fund the initiative. Ultimately, he provided a fraction of what they wanted in the budget.
$100 million for 3 years? When we think it's about $400 million every year. That's a big difference.
Senator Tony Strickland says he doesn't think Newsom's CHP surge is the right way to tackle crime.
I believe this press conference is nothing more than him knowing that he failed to keep people safe in California.
Newsom says the numbers tell a different story. California's 2024 homicide rate was the second lowest it's been since at least 1966. And last year, overall violent crime decreased 6% compared to 2023, and property crime dropped 8.4%. He also points to legislation he passed last year, separate from Prop 36, tackling retail theft and property crime. Still,
we are mindful that we have a lot more work to do, and that's precisely why we are announcing this today.
We reached out to the Sacramento Police Department to get their take on CHP's increased presence in the community. They said they're aware of the governor's announcement and will continue working with CHP and other public safety partners to keep Sacramento safe. Alex.
All right, Becca, thank you. Tonight, the city of Sacramento's overnight camping ban at City Hall will officially go into effect. The city says it is meant to maintain a safe, professional, and accessible civic environment. Now, the ordinance was approved last month. It bans people from seeking shelter around City Hall facilities between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. The city's Department of Community Response says that they've been leading outreach and education efforts since then. Unhoused people tell ABC 10 that they're worried about having one less safe place to sleep, while nearby businesses are worried about the impact to the surrounding areas and worry the new rules could cause other problems.
I really think it's going to make it worse because since they're moving from there, they're kicking them out. They have to find somewhere else to stay.
The city says outreach workers are engaging with those sheltering nearby to connect them with resources. More than 100 tiny homes are under construction. They got a boost today. Sacramento Mayor Kevin McCarty showcased the homes at the city's Roseville Road Shelter and Service Campus. The new tiny homes will be connected to electricity to power each unit's heating and air conditioning system. The mayor pointed out that while the tiny homes are a step in the right direction, there is still a lot more work to do to get people off the streets and into a safe place to stay.
We need to pivot because I think we've been doing a good job. There are fewer people that, my constituents are telling what they see in encampments and other freeways and there are parks, but there are still too many. But we need to focus on, okay, what resources do we have coming in and how can we maximize our taxpayer dollars to help more people get off the streets?
The expansion project is funded by the state of California and designed to help people experiencing homelessness in the area around the Sacramento Northern Parkway. And a special election is set for November 4th, something we've really been talking about here on To The Point, and that's where voters will decide on Proposition 50. Now, this is Governor Newsom's redistricting measure. Secretary of State Shirley Weber released the language of that proposition just today, which explains what exactly you'll be voting for. So let's go ahead and take a look at that, because the measure authorizes temporary changes to congressional district maps in response to Texas's partisan redistricting. This is a legislative constitutional amendment. Now, there are three parts to the ballot measure. First, the measure temporarily requires new congressional district maps as passed by the legislature in August to be used in California's congressional elections through 2030. It also retains California's Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission and directs the commission to resume enacting congressional district maps in 2031 after the 2030 census and every 10 years thereafter. And third, it establishes state policy supporting use of fair, independent, and nonpartisan redistricting commissions nationwide. An official voter guide is on its way to voters. Changes could be coming to the store checkout process here in California. Lawmakers are considering a new proposal that goes after surveillance pricing, and that's a practice where companies use customers' personal data to change the price that you pay. So the lawmakers who introduced it did so in part following a consumer watchdog report detailing examples of people paying for the same items based on where they were located when they were checking out online.
Now, we've had, I think, a culture of consumer activity in America that says that we should have one price for everybody, and that should just be fair consumer activity.
The bill has received pushback from a coalition of retail organizations concerned that the new proposal would eliminate loyalty and discount programs.
I've seen this happen before. They pass these bills and then we end up with unintended consequences and we have to go back and try to fix it. And it's the consumers who face it.
Now, the bill's author says the bill would not eliminate loyalty programs as he sees them as both pro-business and pro-consumer. The bill faces a critical vote in the Senate Appropriations Committee tomorrow. We'll bring you any updates that we get. All right, right after the break, a long-awaited project is finally taking shape in West Sacramento, the new family destination, also honoring its Native American heritage. And a little bit later, a major shakeup at the CDC, a director fired and an ally of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. stepping in, and top leaders resigning in protest.
And the forecast is trending warmer, so it is going to be a hot holiday weekend, and then next week we are back in the triple digits. I've got the latest after the break.
But first, another headlines tonight. A judge today ordered a new trial for 3 former Memphis police officers who were convicted of federal charges in the fatal beating of Sacramento native Tyree Nichols. The order comes after defense lawyers argued that another judge who presided over their trial was biased against the men. The 3 were found guilty in October 2024 of obstruction of justice through witness tampering in the January 2023 beating death of Nichols after he drove away from a traffic stop. The swatting group called Purgatory is believed to be behind a series of active shooter hoax calls at college campuses. In recent days, police flooded universities in South Carolina, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Villanova. Federal officials want to remind people that any hoax threat, even over social media, is a serious federal crime. And tomorrow is expected to be the most expensive travel day for the Labor Day holiday weekend. The FAA says it will be the busiest holiday weekend in 15 years, with 52,000 flights scheduled for takeoff. The most popular destinations for this Labor Day are New York, Las Vegas, Seattle, Miami, and Chicago.
Construction of a long-anticipated community park is now underway out in West Sacramento. Heritage Oaks Park is on Lake Washington Boulevard. The project is part of the city's Parks and Recreation Master Plan that will transform the park into a space with some new amenities, walking trails, and educational signage. The park also honors the Native American heritage of the area by preserving historic heritage oak trees. All right, it's pretty warm outside today. Let's get a check of your forecast with meteorologist Brenda Minchuk.
Yeah, it was a little bit warmer than normal this afternoon, topped out at 95 in Sacramento, 96 in Stockton, 93 in Modesto, low 90s in the foothills, mid 70s to upper 70s around Tahoe. And there you go, that departs from normal a little bit above our average low of, or our average high of 91. So again, 4 degrees above average in Sacramento, +2 Stockton, +1 in Modesto. It was hot, but not abnormally hot for late August. That is going to change, though, as we head through the weekend and next week. We will be talking about temperatures quite a bit above average. 92 in Sacramento at the moment, 93 Stockton, 93 in Modesto, 92 in Fayetteville, 98 in Colusa, 86 Placerville, 67 South Lake Tahoe, but 79 in Truckee. Friday morning, starting off in those upper 50s and low 60s, where we'd expect to be for late August. It will nonetheless be a cool start. 60 in Angels Camp, 68 in Placerville, 70 in Nevada City, 41 in Truckee, and 39 in South Lake Tahoe. Friday afternoon, similarly warm to what we had today. We're back in those mid-90s across much of the valley, so running anywhere from about 4 to 6 degrees above normal for much of the valley. 95 Sacramento, 94 in Stockton, 95 in Modesto, 101 up in Colusa, 99 in Oroville, 95 in Jackson, 79 in Truckee, 75 in South Lake Tahoe. But it is going to get warmer as we head through the holiday weekend. So about 98 on Saturday, 98 on Sunday as well. Then I've got 99 on Monday. So temperatures actually climbing as we go through the holiday weekend. That's because high pressure is building in through the weekend. Look at this strong ridge of high pressure sitting overhead by the time we get to Labor Day on Monday. And that high pressure ridge will continue to be right over top of us, headed through at least the middle of next week. And a strong low pressure system across the upper Midwest and Northeast will amplify the ridge out here on the west. So it's a little bit of a yin yang where they're going to be cooler on the East Coast. We're going to be much hotter on the West Coast. So I do have triple digits coming back to the forecast, but make no mistake, it's going to be hot, upper 90s to low hundreds through the holiday weekend. And then a lot of us with widespread triple digits as we head through the middle part of next week. Alex.
All right, Brendan, thank you. Right after the break, searching for comfort and answers in Minneapolis, where 2 children were killed in a shooting at their schools. The calls for change. And in our Champions of Hope, from homelessness to executive chef to community leader, how one woman's journey is transforming lives. Welcome back in. Tonight, doctors are commending first responders for their quick actions following yesterday's deadly shooting at a Catholic school church out in Minneapolis. 2 students were killed and at least 18 others were hurt. Some in the community now demanding action to stop gun violence. Christian Cordero has more on the investigation.
Growing memorials today outside the church at Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis, where police say a shooter opened fire yesterday during morning prayers. Flowers and toys placed to honor the victims, including 2 students who died, an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. This mother tells us her 13-year-old son was in the church when the shooting started and ducked under a pew, using his body to shield and protect a first grader. Both survived uninjured.
Buddy's family reached out to me to just say how much they're thankful for Francis, my son's name, for protecting their young first grader. And I'm so proud of my son for doing that.
New images today show the stained glass windows police say the suspect shot through, now boarded up. The front door also boarded up, tiny pieces of glass still on the ground. The police chief tells ABC News the shooter barricaded the doors from the outside to prevent escape. Police say the suspect, who they've identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman, born Robert Westman, died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. They say Westman had no prior criminal record and had recently purchased the guns legally.
This is an individual who, unfortunately, like so many other mass shooters that we have seen, had some deranged fascination with previous mass shootings.
Today, community leaders and gun safety groups demanding change.
We've seen what happens time and again when assault weapons are used. And we also know what happens when they're banned. Lives are saved. When the federal assault weapons ban was in place, mass shootings went down.
The Minneapolis Police Department increased patrols at the school today, and there are plans to expand patrols at all schools in the city in the next few weeks. And there is a shakeup at the Centers for Disease Control. Today, the White House chose a close ally of Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead the agency. The announcement comes just a day after the CDC director, Dr. Susan Minares, was fired. An administration official says Jim O'Neill, the Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services, will now serve as acting CDC director. Her removal sparked a wave of resignations from other CDC leaders. Today, departing employees addressed a crowd of supporters.
You are the people that protect America, and America needs to see that you are the people that protect America, and we are going to be your loudest advocates.
Now, this all comes as the FDA approves new updated COVID shots while significantly narrowing the guidelines on who is approved to get one. Coming up next in our Champions of Hope, the remarkable journey of a single mother whose determination built a culinary program that's changing lives. From neighbors helping neighbors to inspiring acts of kindness, each week we are sharing stories on people who are really making a difference. Tonight in our Champions of Hope, we introduce you to Kenya. In her kitchen, ingredients become more than just food. They're tools for healing, empowerment, and new beginnings.
Kenya has faced more than her share of challenges.
The main thing that pushed me was I needed to not ever go homeless again for my daughter.
A single mother, she left her home in San Francisco searching for a better life for herself and her daughter. Facing homelessness, struggling to find stable housing, and searching for steady work, she discovered Vista Nueva, a permanent supportive housing community that connects vulnerable families with vital services.
I remember going on a tour on my first day and discovering this kitchen. And it wasn't a full kitchen, there was no stove, and I thought to myself, this is the opportunity. This is it. This is going to be the kitchen.
She had culinary experience, trained in an industrial kitchen, and became a sous chef. But Kenya wanted more.
What I was able to do in a nutshell was go from a cook to an executive chef in 5 years, which is typically unheard of. 1, I'm a woman of color. 2, I'm a woman.
Her skills spoke for themselves.
What culinary has taught me is everything that I am capable of. I don't have some fancy college degree sitting behind me. I was not ever in a 4-year college.
But she had drive, a vision, and passion. She took a job as a program manager at Vista Nueva and pitched a culinary program that would change her life.
I've been able to create my own business and start my own business. I've been able to run workforce programs in now 2 cities, and I've been able to change lives. Most of all, I've been able to inspire others.
Inspiring students like Jeanette, who is hoping to one day open a food truck with her daughter.
Well, hearing her story honestly empowers not only me, but the other students in here. For me, I'm a survivor myself of human trafficking, and I can't physically work right now, so having this opportunity to have something else under my belt is just keeping me in good spirits and letting me know that, hey, you may be down right now, but you got this. Bon appetit.
And Jasmine, who is pursuing her bachelor's degree in psychology.
I've had a rough life. My 15-year-old son was murdered 8 years ago, and that turned my life upside down. But my husband has helped me to be very hopeful, to not give up and keep moving forward no matter what. And I've devoted myself to this class a lot.
Kenya is helping Vista Nueva residents take the next step.
I've been able to create MOUs with restaurants and small businesses. They would at least take a look at our graduates, interview them, and hopefully hire them.
But Kenya says the greatest job of her life will always be being a mom.
I think that she has been able to see like night and day. Now is watching me sign leases without having to second guess my income or whether or not we qualify, which is just a different kind of freedom.
Now, the culinary training program hopes to expand, so if you do want to learn more or if you're feeling generous and want to donate, you can find this story on our website at abc10.com. As always, thank you so much for joining us each and every night. I know we cover a lot of ground, and I say this all the time, but truly, if you have a question, whether it's to nominate a champion of hope or you just want to learn more about redistricting, you can always reach out to our team and email us at tothepoint@abc10.com. Have a great night. I'll see you right back here, same place, same time tomorrow.